is internationally recognized as the Pleiadian ambassador, a gifted spiritual teacher, healer, and channel. Her mission is to bring the teachings and information forward from the Pleiadians so that we can fully utilize and understand the energies of this transformation phase on this planet. She channels the light initiations from the Pleiadians to activate our awakening so that we can be self-empowered with the clarity of this time on our journeys. Now, what impresses me most about Christine is the heartfelt, authentic way in which she shares her wisdom and her insights of transformation. And it's been a while since we've seen her, so I love to have her back. Please help me welcome back Christine Day.
How beautiful it is to be here with you all. A tremendous amount of love flowing through me. The energies of, yes, the Pleiadians are here, but very strongly Mother Mary and the Christ energy are here too this morning with all of us, with you and with me. It's part of that sacred connections that is so essential for us, for our nourishment at this time on the planet. And it's a great gift to be here. Feel so much joy and gratitude to be sharing this moment with you. As a collective, we're here meeting and sharing joy, sharing love, sharing fellowship. And is there anything more important than that at this time? With the chaos in the world, in this country, throughout the world, we get to be still in our own hearts and really share a meeting point of fellowship with ourselves. And that is the main guidance here that the Pleiadians want me to speak about today. The essential time for each one of us to start building inner meeting point connections within ourselves. Your own sacred component. Yes, we have our humanity, we know that perfectly imperfect human part that we are and that we play out on a certain level day to day in our lives on this earth plane, being in physical bodies. And to really honor that, that's a journey, that's one journey. And then there's the other journey of the sacred nature that we are. In truth, we're sacred beings having a human experience. And it's the time now for that reversal. We've been human beings having moments of having the experience of who we are in that sacred space. But the shift is happening where we're turning to be spiritual beings witnessing our human experience. And that human part of ourselves needing the support, the love and compassion and patience of the sacred that we are. That's the reversal that's taking place at this time. And that is the call that is going out right now for us to step forward to receive ourselves. Like the Pleiadians always said, you are who you've been waiting for. We're not waiting for someone to show us the way or save us. It's about a self-resurrection process. And we know Jesus Christ came onto the earth plane a long time ago to bring the message of self-resurrection. Yes, the churches have taken Jesus Christ and used him as a certain way for their doctrine, but I have had so many personal meetings with Jesus Christ. And the biggest one was the very first one I had when I was at the Sea of Galilee in Israel. And I went down to the seashore because that's where I was guided to go. And the Christ came across the water and walked towards me. And the love was overwhelming. His love for me was overwhelming. And he said he carried the reflection of that love, which is also the love that my own sacred nature has for me, and mirrored that love and blessed me and talked about how I needed to resurrect myself, how he came representing that self-resurrection, and how I was to come back to a meeting point with myself and take myself off the cross, because I had put myself on a cross for so many things in my life. And I knew in that moment it was true. He was right. I had myself on a cross. I had condemned myself for all my human frailties, my idiosyncrasies, things that were out of my control, being in a cult as a child. And that I had blamed myself for being part of that cult, even though I was totally helpless. And then I realized it was so much easier to blame myself than to feel that helplessness. That was excruciating. That was like impossible to deal with. So I understood my part. You know, I played my role out fully. As a child, I made pre-agreements to be there in that cult, to have that experience. I pre-agreed to have the parents I had, to have all of those experiences, to create this meeting point of understanding of my own humanity and humanity in the world, and come full circle back to the meeting point of my own sacred heart. Because our sacredness resides in our heart. Our hearts are the true stability point for our lives right now. That's where truth exists within our heart. That's where the sacred part of ourself can be accessed. And it's a stabilizer. It's a reference point for us in our lives now. That we remain stable and clear within the true, authentic heart, and allow our hearts to be a guiding light for us to take us home. That is the gift of connection within ourselves, of coming back to that meeting point, that forming sacred connection to our heart's desire. You know, what is your heart's desire for yourself? And when you come into your heart, that's where the clarity and the truth exists, and where we can be guided day by day, moment by moment in our lives. And yes, we can slip into being human. I mean, we're perfectly imperfect. We're going to have moments of being imperfect, of going back into fear and struggle and the feeling of not being okay. That's the human experience. That's what we said yes to. But we don't have to stay there. You can go, oh, look at me. I'm back into that fear, to the illusion of my ego mind, which has that story, the old belief systems, the programming of not being okay, not being good enough, not deserving the love, not deserving the abundance. That's okay. But we don't stay there. We go, whoa, okay, I'm right in this. Don't try and push it away. Breathe it through. Utilize that conscious breath that helps you move through it and let it cycle out of the body. Resurrect yourself. That's the resurrection process of finding yourself in the middle of the fear, in the middle of the struggle, in the middle of not trusting, ego mind, and coming back down into the sacred container of your own heart. That is your sacred connection, the meeting point. And then from that meeting point with yourself, with that higher self, where there's clarity, understanding, intuitive guidance, taking you to your next step, you can meet another person in that space. You can create more connections, authentic connections with another human being. That's the authenticity of connection, of creating true, pure connection in one moment. It only takes one moment of you in your authentic heart to connect to one other person. And just allow that moment to become a sacred reconnection through the heart with another person. It doesn't necessarily mean you'll sustain that. It's moments of not being in separation with the ego mind. And those moments when you're not in separation with the ego mind, when you're in your heart, every cell in your body transforms. You start to shed the old density. Naturally, it sheds off you. Because it can't sustain. Because one moment of a pure connection with yourself through the heart, with yourself or with another person, that one moment transforms and shifts the sabotaging cycle that has been inside you for lifetimes. And it's a cumulative, one moment at a time. That's all you need. One moment in a day of being within yourself. Choosing, consciously choosing that moment to be here in your heart. And then after a while, you spend more time here in your authentic heart than you do in your ego mind. And it's a self-resurrection process, a self-liberation process. And that conscious breath is everything. This is the breath the Pleiadians gave me 26 years ago when I had my awakening with them. And it's a breath in the mouth and out the mouth. It bypasses the ego mind. And at the moment that conscious breath has accelerated its potency, because the energetic shift on the planet, there's so much opening up and shifting right now that we are given a grace of being able to accelerate our reconnections to ourselves on a very different level than ever before. And the conscious breath is more potent. So it's a breath, and it's not, it's not like a short breath with the mouth like this, so how much you're willing to let go of. Just a little now, I'm just going to control this. No. Yes, I'm willing to let go. Yes, I'm willing to receive my light. I'm willing to receive it all of myself. Yeah, once an hour. It doesn't replace the normal breathing cycle, but it's once an hour, and it starts to create this automatic shedding of the old density. Like we're ready to drop a lot of old shells right now. And each conscious breath aligns you to that meeting point within your sacred heart. That is the conscious choice action. You choosing self-resurrection, choosing reconnection in the moment with yourself. And each one of us holds that unique divine aspect of God light. Each one of us, we're unique. And it brings a tremendous emotion to really see you all out here. My energies, I can see the essence of your own unique God light out there. It's around you. And I see the beauty of that. It touches my heart so completely. And it's about you reaching and finding your own so that you start to celebrate yourself and really embrace the joy and the wonderment of who you are. And that beauty that is really needed right now. You are a gift to the planet. And there's no one like you in the entire universe. And it brings that emotion up of how long we've been separated from ourselves, that authentic beauty of who we are. And how necessary each one of us is to humanity, to the planet, and to the universe as well. And there's, in reality, through our hearts, as a group, as we come together as a group, as a community, and come into that meeting point, that connection with each other, how we can bring the sacredness of our own unique divine aspect and add it to the whole of the community here, say, for example. There's no real room or need for competition. It just creates, that's the ego mind wanting to separate and keep separation going. The ego mind will always come up with a reason to start shutting down on other people. You know, oh yeah, listen to her. Oh, I just can't stand the sound of her voice. Or look at this, or look at that. This picking that just creates a separation. You know, oh no, I just really can't. You know, she's not really, doesn't really fit in or doesn't belong to us, this little cliquey group within a group. It's separate out. And it creates pain, you know? Like for so long, I didn't want to do community ever because it was like, oh, what a nightmare being with other human beings and all that ego and all the nasty, the cliquey groups, the breaking down. You know, you think you belong and suddenly you don't belong. And the pain of that. We've been living it over and over again. But this is the time, the real message is for us to drop that persona, that need to make someone else not okay or wrong so that we protect ourselves, that vulnerability of our humanity. You know, that fear of we'll shut down before someone else shuts down on us. You know. And so this time around community like you here, it's really the time to come together and to celebrate and honor each person's unique divine aspect and what they bring to the community. What you can bring is your wholeness, not maybe perfectly, not going to happen right now, but moments of beauty, moments of your own divine frequency into the setting of the group, and really get there doesn't have to be, there's no competition. One is not more than another. We all have the same amount to contribute. Differently, yes, but not more or less than the other. And the ego mind thinks, well, yeah, I'm not good enough. You know, no, that's not me. But this is every human being on the planet carries a unique divine frequency. So there are no exceptions. So when you find yourself, you know, kind of assessing someone, yes, that's their humanity. That's their perfectly imperfect dynamic, just like yours. And you assess people according to what you still hold inside yourself. So if you start assessing someone, come back to yourself and say, okay, so where am I feeling so afraid? Or where's the mirror? Where is it that I have to accept, not get perfect, just accept my imperfection? Where do I need to still accept myself? Where am I still judging myself or holding something against me? That's, you know, that's a really important thing to understand. And that self-acceptance is the self-love, because we are born from love. The sacred part of ourselves is love. That is the sacred component. And so when you choose moments to come in to that meeting connection with yourself in your heart, you're accessing and navigating yourself into that loving component of your higher being, of your higher essence. And that comes in and supports your humanity. And it really supports you in honoring and holding yourself into a place of self-acceptance for everything that you are in your human imperfection. All those idiosyncrasies, accepting the rage, the hate. I mean, they're just feelings. They don't define you. You're allowed to feel you're alive. And as human beings, we express. And we express our fear through fear and rage. And sometimes hate. And then there's love. And then there's joy. They're all actually just being alive. We all just want to be this love and light. Well, that's kind of boring. You know, we're more than that. And as a human being, you know, we just have to celebrate that humanity. Not be afraid of it. Not being afraid of yourself and those hidden depths. And start to allow that yourself to just come out and breathe. And when you push it down and hide it down, it becomes more. That self-acceptance. Not being perfect in order to become enlightened. That's always been the biggest lie and illusion here. It's about self-acceptance of our imperfection, which is self-love. With that, when we come to self-acceptance, no matter what, then we move into our enlightenment naturally. Because we let go. We let go of the shame, the guilt, the trying to get it right, the struggle, the trying to do it perfectly in order to be loved, all of that heavy, heavy stuff that we carry, this burden that somehow we've condemned ourselves. And yet everything we've done, everything we've lived, every choice we've made has been perfect to create these learning experiences. And that's all they are. So we get afraid of what's coming. We get afraid of the past, of what we've done, instead of just honoring what the journey has and honoring the learning experience and letting it go. Let go. That's the conscious breath. Letting it go. Allowing yourself to let go and know there is nothing you have to do differently in order to move forward. There is nothing really in your way except the ego mind's misperception and misunderstanding of what's truth. That judgment from the ego mind. And that's all it knows. It doesn't know this other part of yourself. And it's so important. We need our egos. It's not like we don't want our ego mind to disappear. We need our egos in order to live in these physical bodies, to be on this earth plane, to live, to organize things like shopping lists, packing lists, you know, but not to run our lives. But what's happened is there's a twist, and the ego mind just tells you what you should do, what not to do, and it keeps you in that cycle of self-sabotage. The heart is where the clarity, the intuition, the guidance, the understanding. It's like a wealth of light for you to nourish yourself, to be nourished, to be guided, to trust, to let go and just trust, and to follow no matter what. Follow no matter what. Like Elise and I, we've been given guidance. We have to move to Alice Springs in the middle of the outback in Australia by November. Leave everything here and go. We're trusting. We've let go. It's our next step. Not a lot of details there. But what else is there to do if you don't honor your intuition? What are you going to do? It's no point listening sometimes and not listening other times. This is your authentic meeting point in your heart. That guidance is your authentic self repositioning you where you need to go or what you need to do next. You can't edit that or edit out certain parts of that don't suit you or don't suit your ego mind, actually. And so it's about taking that conscious breath in the mouth, out the mouth, and letting go, choosing to let go. And trusting that sacred component of yourself is leading you into that glorious space of your life where you start to align to your abundance on all levels of fulfillment, self-fulfillment. And the energy, the essence of this meeting of connections, as you meet yourself in this way, just moment by moment, as I said, not perfectly, not every moment, maybe, just letting it flow and just trusting that flow, you start to align not only to your own multidimensional nature, your higher self, but you start to become aware of the other energies that exist within the universe. We have the spiritual realms, which is, the angels, the light beings, the masters, the essence of Mother Mary, the Christ energy, the Buddha energy. All of those energies you start to align to consciously. They make themselves known because you become part of that multidimensional space of light where all things exist. You start to receive the knowing and the knowledge and the understanding. And then we have the galactic community in this resident universe. They are our neighbors. They are our neighbors. And we've been working with those up in Grand Marais on our galactic receiving station for 7 years now. And what the next step is for many of you is to start becoming reconnected, reacquainted with your family of origin that exists off planet. You have a star energy, a star frequency signature. Every one of the stars off planet. And that energy of you, the energies that you are that are part of you, a part of your sacred makeup, part of your higher self, are here to support you now in this transition on Earth, in your awakening. It's part of a pre-agreement, predestined pre-agreement that was made before you came onto this Earth plane. And with the energy shifting on the planet so that the veils have really parted, there's a whole new opportunity to connect with your family of origin off planet and to start also engaging in the pre-agreements with our neighbors, the galactic community. This is another aspect of connection, of sacred reconnection. All of those energies come from, a fifth, sixth, upwards, conditional, unconditional love. They're living incarnations now. They're not in spirit form. People get that mixed up and they think, they have to be in spirit form. No. They're living an active incarnation now, and they're here on Earth to support Earth in its transitional phase. Now, what's in it for them, you'd ask? And the fact is that we are part of this resident universe, and all eyes are on Earth, because guess what? We're the last holdout We're the last third-dimensional planet. And until we resolve that, which is coming, and it's not that far off, then we return naturally back into the universal consciousness. And the whole resident universe gets upgraded. So, all of the universe is working. We have all of the different life force groups of the galactic community supporting here on Earth. But the fact is, the bottom line is, we as human beings, those of us in human form, have to be the ones that to take Earth to the next step. And we do that through that meeting point connection within our hearts. And we do that by aligning to your family of origin off planet. But guess what? When you align to your aspect, your star energy, and it comes through your body, you go totally upgraded. I had my full Pleiadian aspect come in 26 years ago. I was in bed for 2 months while that was taking place, that integration. It happened all at once. And when I came out of that, it was like I was in this higher realm. That was my higher self component of my Pleiadian aspect, that I was just then in this knowledge and knowing and space. So when you start to align and work with your star frequency energy and start calling it forward and calling forward your family of origin off planet, because you're the only one who can do that with free will, then that component of your higher self, that star energy, comes in and you automatically come into a more complete knowing and understanding and knowledge. That frequency, that higher consciousness frequency of that star energy of you integrates through you. And then you start to really get a deepening understanding of the multidimensional aspect of yourself. You're coming home through your heart on another level. It's like your heart begins to illuminate, and that's the sacred heart. That sacred heart energy that you are. And you've always been that. You know, you have your sacred energy, your sacred aspect, fully intact, just waiting for you to reach to it. You don't have to prepare or do anything magnificent. You already are that. It's just a reconnection, reunion. That's all it is, remembering. Remembering. And that's the most sacred connection to be made. It's something you want to put at the very top of your list, of your intention. Like getting things in order of importance, that's at the top of your list. Reconnection, reunion with that sacred component that exists within your heart. So that you activate the avenue, like a doorway opening in your heart each time you come into your heart cells, with the intention of connection. The most sacred and most important connection. And then allowing that to slowly evolve through you. And at the same time, simultaneously, you start to actively engage with your own star frequency. You start to align to your star power. And they're the gifts. Like the gifts I have are my natural multidimensional gifts. And you all have them. They're laying dormant, waiting for you to start to reclaim them. And this is the avenue, this is the environment for this sacred connection to take place now. Focused intention, conscious breath, opening up, calling in your alliances, activating your pre-agreements consciously. Because we have free will, nothing can happen except from us. We must initiate that change. choosing to change by letting go. It's just letting go. And people say, well, how do you let go? Because we're so used to hanging on like this. And I remember in the early days with the Pleiadians, they kind of took me through a lot to teach me things. Well, I had a lot to learn at that point. I still do, but I've moved a lot. But that they would show me this picture of someone hanging onto a branch of a tree like this. And they said, that's what you're doing. And to let go, you just have to open your fingers and take your hands off the branch. That's all. Just open your fingers. And then you let go. And then they showed me this, like, falling into this river of light, which was my river of light, and just being taken by the flow of the sacred that I am. Carried and bathed and held in that light. Can we let go? Are you willing to be held and carried effortlessly? Not pushing on doors so they open, but waiting for the door to open and you just walk through to meet the next step of your life. Doesn't mean it has to be as dramatic as Elisa and mine right now, moving countries, but it's moving you, repositioning yourself, being held by the sacred that you are and carried through your life, your third dimensional life, and being readjusted where it is you need to be for your highest good, to receive the abundance, the natural abundance that's yours by birthright, bypassing the ego mind with the conscious breath, and choosing to let go. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. That's in the flow. And using the conscious breath, because the ego mind might get into fear, or like, oh my gosh, I'm out of control. Well, the ego mind loves to control every second of our lives by keeping us in that cycle of self-sabotage, because it's what it knows and it wants to keep you in that. And that's the feeling of being uneasy. Oh my gosh, something's wrong, something bad's going to happen because I'm going to let go. That's the story of the ego mind. It's not truth. It's not based on any truth. And for me, when I was starting out in this journey and transformed my life on so many levels, whenever there was fear present, and the bigger the fear, the more I knew it was so important to let go. It was a signal to me, a green light, go, not a red light, stop. I'd go, whoa, that fear is huge. I'd take a breath into it, and I'd keep moving forward into my experience. And I was more excited. The more fear, the more excitement. And I wouldn't abandon my humanity, that part that was afraid. I'd say, we're going to be okay. Let's just breathe, let go, and we're going to be taken care of. It's going to be okay. Come on, help me. I need you with lists. I need you with this. It's like honoring your humanity and letting it play its role, a purpose. Just like for myself, I channel so much. I don't use a calculator to add up figures. I let my ego mind do the adding, and it feels empowered by that. That's supportive. And I thank my mind. Thank you for doing this. That's a great job. And so my ego mind gets more and more settled and allows me to launch myself more and more completely. It's about you want a stabilization between your humanity and your sacred nature. It's not putting your ego mind into high alert and fear and struggle. You don't need to do that. You want a balance. So I have a very good balance between my human self and my ego mind, my human self, and my sacred energy. And that light, that love from my sacred goes to my humanity. And there's balance. And you must achieve that balance. And it doesn't get achieved by pushing down all the feelings, like pushing away like rage or anger. It's about just really embracing the anger and breathing it through and allowing yourself to feel it as completely as you can. And then saying, okay, so where's the fear that I have to be so angry? What's the fear that's coming up right now that I feel so vulnerable? And then I learn one more thing about my own idiosyncrasies as a human being. The journey is a balancing role between humanity and sacred. It's creating a strong connection with my humanity, but I don't let it run my life. I love it, and I appreciate the courage it's taken for me, for this journey that I've been on. And I celebrate my humanity. I think the Pleiadians have really taught me about the value of my humanity and how much they really honor us for this human journey, that we said yes to being here. Every one of us, we forget, oh my gosh, how could I have said it was an honor and a privilege to be brought here and allowed to come during this transition. We forget that we said yes to it when we feel like we're in the middle of hell. That human, chaos and confusion and, those moments of suffering. And we've all suffered. Not one more than another, by the way, just differently. But it's about owning your creation and looking at it and going, whoa, look at this situation. So let me just breathe and feel it and just witness it and see what's happening here as something difficult comes into your life that you need to, deal with. Meet it. You meet it with emotion. What's the emotion that's here right now? What's coming up? Is this situation creating fear in me, or dread, or sorrow, or betrayal? What is it? Because every situation that we create in our lives is created for us to come to something that's unresolved in us, that we're holding inside ourselves from the past. So it comes up as a mirror, so we get to feel the betrayal maybe that we've pushed down, that was too much to deal with in the moment. And we can then breathe that feeling out and let it go. And guess what? The situation leaves, because it doesn't have to be there anymore. It's not a punishment. And many people feel like when something bad, or what they label as bad and good, bad happens, there's a punishment. And you're just waiting for the axe to fall, something to happen. Something's going to get me because I'm too happy right now, or don't deserve this. And each one of you deserve it all of the abundance. And this is the time for receivership. Mother Mary and Jesus Christ are on the earth plane like never before. Their energetic profiles are incredibly strong. And they are here, especially Mother Mary's energy is about receivership, receiving and choosing to receive fully the gifts and the blessings that are being bestowed back to us at this time. And that meeting point, that connection, is the heart. That's where you're going to receive them. You can't receive them if you're here in your ego mind. It doesn't work. You actually, it's like a wall. It's a separator. You're in separation when you're up here. So if you've got a pounding headache, bring your energy down into your heart and let yourself rest here. This is the resting place. This is where you can be held and nurtured and received, and receive a nutritional love, an unconditional love that doesn't exist here on this earth plane, because as human beings, we're not really into unconditional love. We don't have that capacity right now to do that. But we can get it from the sacred space of our hearts. And you can live in that space and allow yourself to come into what is your heart's desire for you, not for everyone else. Let everyone else take care of themselves. It's about you. And we want to focus out on everyone else, but here, this is where we need to focus. We become a gift to humanity as we evolve through the heart. And then we transmit that love wherever we go outwards to humanity. We become that love. Moment by moment, but it has to be first given to ourselves. Embracing that love for ourselves. Coming back to that meeting point, that connection point. You know, and with this energetic profile, planet Earth is finally resonating on the same level as the rest of the universe. For the first time ever, its magnetic core, our magnetic core, is transmitting this frequency that exists and aligns us for the very first time with the rest of our universe. And that magnetic core is transmitting, yes, from Earth right through the planet, right through our heart cells. Because our heart cells know truth. They carry the sacredness of our star family. They carry the sacredness of our God, unique divine God consciousness state. And so Earth is like opening up, like it was like a real tight bud. Now the petals are loosening and they're starting to open like this. Just opening outwards. And enfolding, we are being enfolded within that sacred consciousness. So it's like no time like ever before. Sacred connection is everything. And the sacred connection allows you to link into your heart's desire. And you have your creation energy that exists within your heart. So when that heart's desire starts to open, your creation energy opens, and your heart's desire becomes manifest in your life. If you will let go, utilize the conscious breath, choose to let go, and allow yourself the full resurrection of yourself. And I just want to bring in a blessing energy because the Pleiadians are wanting to bring this energy in. Shata ine a she o me she o me she o. He a she o. And so I wish to honor each one of you and all that you are in this moment. So be it. Thank you, everyone.
Wow. Thank you, Christine. This morning, as I was getting ready to come, I was just pointed to an article that I saw, and the article said that a few days ago that there was an opening in the Earth's electromagnetic field, and the opening was there for 14 hours. And so I was wondering, well, what did that do? What did that generate for us? And then Christine's message about how we're being supported in this transformational phase, individually, collectively, and then galactically as well. So thank you for that message. In just a moment, we'll be asking for your donations. Lake Harriet Spiritual Community is solely funded by your generosity and your donations. We don't have a mothership or another source of income. And the donations help us keep the lights on, keep the doors open, and keep giving us the ability to bring amazing speakers like Christine and other activities here as well. So we appreciate your generosity. And while the ushers are coming forward to collect the donations, we have Barb Ryman with her angelic voice. So she'll lend some music for us. Thank you, Barb.
Thank you. Well, I think, am I on? This is a song about, I think about evolution of the heart. Called Ashes. I walked through the fire, met my life, caught in a heavy and oh, so tired. Ashes, ashes, blowing away. The ember of our hearts. We laid it down. We heard the sound of our surrender. No longer defenders. Ashes. Blowing away. The ember of our hearts. Glowing. We rose like the phoenix with power and new strength. All the love of our essence bursting with brilliance. Ashes, 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 blowing away. Brilliance of our hearts, glowing.
That was lovely. Thank you, Barb. Okay. So if you didn't have an opportunity to contribute today, on our website, we do have an opportunity to contribute through PayPal if you'd like to. So if you'll join me in blessing our offering today and repeat after me. God's perfect love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Oh, all right. So as our tradition is to end the service by creating a circle around the sanctuary. So I think we've got enough people to do that, and then some. All right.
We're up here. Yeah, hey. Good to see you too.
I moved to Denver. I've been gone since last summer.
know.
So I'm just here on holiday.
Well, how nice. Are you happy in Denver?
Well, it's a stop.
Well, I know that.
It's part of the journey.
Uh-huh.
That was wonderful.
So glad. Let's all just take a conscious breath and let go to align into this beautiful circle that we are. Just in the mouth and out the mouth. And the energy of this circle, we can create something between us, with each one of you carrying a unique point of God consciousness, of your light, and anchoring your place here. So why don't we do that for a moment, just to let the circle energy open up so it can really benefit everyone here on the planet. Shata ine a she o me she o me she o. Circle of individual points of light that you are, just claiming your place here in this circle. Come on, take now one more conscious breath and just feel your place here and the difference you make, bringing your own unique energy to this circle, this collective energy that we are. Eshata ine a eshe o. That's it. Feeling, seeing, sensing the energy flowing through our circle. That's it. Claim ownership. Just take another conscious breath. As you let go, you can align even further. One conscious breath, letting go. Ashatae. That's it. Just allowing yourself to let go and be more part of this moment, just this moment in time. Ekashata ine a eshe o. That's it. Take one more breath and just let go. That's it. And just feel how the energy of our circle is opening up even further. Ashatae. It's great work. And just feel how the essence of our circle is flowing outwards, out across the planet, across our country, across the planet, touching all humanity. Ekoshata I she o me she o me she o. So be it. So be it. Amen. Thank you.